Welcome back. Today we're talking about how to train your virtual assistant, right? You just hired them, but how do you train them the right way? A lot of businesses have tried to outsource and to hire people overseas, and they report back to me, yeah, it didn't work. Well, there's some certain things that they didn't do to ensure success, and I'm going to share those things with you here so that you succeed. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the trial assignment. When you're hiring somebody brand new, to know that you've hired the right person, that they're the right fit for this job, instead of just giving them a permanent position, hire them for a trial assignment. Definitely let them know that you're paying them for this assignment, but if it just takes a day and it doesn't work out, just pay them for that one day and move on to the next applicant. And here's some advice about that trial assignment. You don't need it to be perfect. Right? If you give them an assignment, don't expect them to get 100% of the way there, to do it 100% the way that you want it to be. If I'm hiring a video editor, I'm looking for 80%. Okay, so if I have some assets that we start with and it turns into this finished edited video, and I give them a similar project saying, okay, here's a sample of what I want you to do. I want you to give it a try. If they can get it 80% of the way there, then that's fantastic, because what I can do is then have a conversation with them and let them know, great, you did 80% of the work already. I don't even have to train you on that part. Here's some of the things that are missing. I want you to do transitions this way. I want you to edit it in this format, and then they'll get back to work and maybe they'll add another 10%. So now you're 90% of the way there. Give them more feedback, right? So this is a really effective way of training because they're learning what you want. They're learning your systems. Now, in the beginning, it would be quicker for you just to edit the video yourself, right? You could get it 100% of the way there on your first go around. With them, it's going to take a lot of back and forth, but this is really effective training. You know that you found somebody who's coachable, who's skilled enough to get it 80% of the way there, and then by you taking this extra time to train them, they're going to get better and better. So by the time they're doing the fourth video for you this way, they'll probably get it to 90% instead of 80%, right? They're already going to get it 90% of the way there. That learning curve or that training is reduced. Eventually, they're going to get to 95 on their own, and then to 99 on their own. And after that point, a lot of the videos aren't going to need any input from you. So that's my favorite way to train. And now I want to talk about some other reasons that people that hire people overseas, why it fails for them. Reason number one is they don't create systems. They think, I want to start doing better in social media marketing, so I'm going to hire a social media person to come and do that for me. See, but if I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing on Instagram, we'll just use that as an example. Then if I hire somebody and I tell them, yeah, I want you to start doing stuff on Instagram, what are they going to do? Like if they've had Instagram experience with another company, they're just going to do what they did in their previous job or position, right? Is that the best thing to do? But if you take time to figure out Instagram, what do I actually want? What type of images do I want to post, or what type of videos or what type of content do I want to create for Instagram? How often do I want to post? What about responses? How do I interact with my audience there? You got to figure it out and kind of create this system. This is what I do. This is what I do on Mondays. This is how many times I post every day of the week. And so you bring that person in and you show them this system that you've created and you train them on running that system. That sounds obvious, but nobody does it. I'd say 1% of businesses do it. Now, I just made up that number 1%, but it is definitely more common than not for people to try hiring people overseas and for it to not work. The reason that sites like Fiverr actually do have a pretty high success rate is because you're hiring them for a specific task or a specific project. You're not hiring them long term, right? So you say, I need a new logo design. You go to Fiverr and you type in logo design and you find a designer and you see examples of their work. So you kind of know exactly what you're hiring them for, and they know exactly what they're offering. They've created a package, at a price point, and so you pay them that price point and they deliver it, right? So there's a system created there. But the real advantage to being able to hire somebody overseas is to be able to hire somebody to really dedicate their full selves to you. They're going to give you 8 hours a day, and in order to succeed in that way, you have to be the one to create the system. What are they going to be doing? Like if you hire a video editor, what does that look like? What software software are they using? What do they do in the beginning? Do they open up a new project from a template? What does that template look like? What are the parameters? What type of assets are they going to be using? And how is that organized in Dropbox, for example? What do you do for text effects? What transitions do you like to use? The more that you can refine and define these steps, the more likely you are to succeed in training somebody to do that and have them give the output that you're hoping for. Now, one thing that I learned early on about specifically the Filipino culture is they have a little bit of timidity, especially in their relationship with a boss, right? A boss is an authority figure in their mind, and an American is kind of an intimidating figure. So when I'm an American boss and I'm hiring them, they might have some hesitation to come to me with questions or to tell me a mistake that they made or something that they don't understand. So I have to be open in the beginning and letting them know, I know that you are learning this system. I love questions. I love it when you come to me and tell me what you don't know, because that gives me the ability to train you. So don't worry, right? Just give them assurances. Give them assurances that you're there to help them, that you really support them. And if they get stuck, let them know you expect them to get stuck, and I don't know where you're going to get stuck, so just let me know when that happens, and then I can come in and help you. I want to help you with this. And then message them, hey, have you gotten stuck yet? As if it's something that's okay. Just give them that assurance. That gives them the opportunity to be comfortable and to really blossom as a team member for you. This might sound weird, but early on, it was hard for me to see them as human beings because we interacted digitally. We didn't get on the phone or FaceTime or Zoom. We communicated with direct messages or email, and then sometimes I would record a screen capture that had my voice, so they got familiar with my voice, but that was it. And I'd been hiring people for 9 years before I actually went over to the Philippines and met them in person. And when I had them around me, we met for dinner, and I'm just like, this is great. It was like a paradigm shift. I didn't treat them disrespectfully or something like they weren't human, at least I certainly hope not. But meeting them in person really just like, it was a really touching, emotional experience for me because they looked at me with such admiration and respect, and I'm just like, whoa, I'm providing their livelihood. It just, everything connected because I saw their personalities, I saw them interacting. So that is a challenge that we have when we hire somebody overseas and we're just interacting with them through our computer. So the takeaway that I want you to have from that discussion is communication, like communication with patience and understanding that they have some reservations about working with you as well. Or another way of saying that is they're intimidated. They're a little bit nervous. They want to impress you. If you just always keep in mind that they are there doing their best, wanting to please you and wanting to impress you. So even if they make a mistake, if you have that in mind, it's really easy to interact with them and help them out and let them know, yeah, oh, you're doing such a good job. This isn't actually the way that I would do it, but I understand that you're just learning. Let me help you out here. So if you create a system and if you have great communication with them and be proactive in letting them know to ask you questions and expectations that they will get stuck, and that's okay. And you've gone through the process, of course, of doing trial assignments, so you know that the right person is working for you. This is going to be a game changer for your business, and I'm so excited to learn. I want you to share with me, let me know your experience after several months, what this has done for your business. So if you haven't watched the video that I did previously on how to find these amazing people, definitely go there first. It's virtualassistanttool.com.